everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very strong, powerful guest here for the show today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
Hi, Kimberly. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I am so grateful. My name is Bhavya Gaur, and currently I am in Canada. So that's where I'm actually calling in and, you know, coming in front of all of you live. So, yeah.
I thank you for joining my show. I wanted to talk about your past leading up into your present, wherever you would like to start.
Okay. So, I would like to start from the present because that will give a perspective to people, where I have been or where I'm coming from. So currently, I am a leadership coach and a life mastery mentor coach. And whatever I talk about, whatever I share is coming from my real life experiences. So I'm an entrepreneur, but this was not always the case. Now we go back, it's a flashback that comes to me, is I have been through abuse, starting from childhood. And then even into my adulthood, abuse was a pattern that was common in my life. And being a people pleaser, I was always trying to fit in. I was always trying to bend over backwards, trying to be whoever people wanted me to be. And in all of that, somewhere I lost my own identity. School time, university, that was my life. And then I got married, and it was a marriage of my choice, because I somehow thought that when I am in a love marriage, so love being the main ingredient, things will be different. But then things changed, and the abuse started in marriage as well. So, I won't go into all the details, but to kind of give an idea, from childhood, it started as sexual abuse, and then it went on to emotional abuse. It went on to physical abuse, to the point where I felt it was enough and I couldn't take it anymore. But it was not an easy place for me to come to. I had little children at that time. I remember my older one was 4 and my younger one was 2.5. And the abuse from my husband's side of the family, from the in law side of the family, was going on throughout that phase of marriage that I was in, because I chose love marriage and I didn't even consider the religion and, any of that, because I felt when love is strong, that can actually surpass everything. But when there's a pattern of abuse, it starts showing up in everything. And that is what happened in my case. It started with verbal abuse from my in law's side. And just to kind of share with you, my day used to start with abuses because we had this custom. I'm originally from India. We had this custom that in the morning you touch the feet of the elders in the family for blessings. But instead of blessings, when my mother in law used to hug me, she used to, you know, curse me or give me abuses, because they felt that it was an interreligion marriage, and they felt like their son should have gotten married to someone in the same religion. So they held a grudge against me for that. And I tried to, being a people pleaser, I was trying to make it work. So I was trying to make everybody happy. And I had this hope that, when they really get to know me, maybe they'll start liking me and loving me. This continued, and I was married for a good 9 years. Now, fast forward to the place where the abuse actually started from my husband's side. Before this, I was the main breadwinner of the family. I was working. I was the housewife. I was the breadwinner. So I used to go outside to work. I was the mom. I was the wife. I was the housekeeper, cleaning, house and dishes. And I was doing all of that. We didn't have any maid or any help coming at home. So my day used to start at 4 in the morning, where I used to prepare breakfast, lunch for everyone. And then we were dropping off the kids to a daycare. And then I used to go to work. And after work, on my way back, pick up the kids from daycare, bring them home, cook dinner, and then prepare for next day. So this was like a cycle that I was in. And my ex-husband, he was in his family business. He was not really getting any money. So I had to put the gas in his car so that he could drive us and then go to his work. And I was very scared of driving. I want to mention this, that when we are not really standing in our power, then anything and anyone can manipulate us. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the confidence of driving because my ex husband used to tell me, oh, if you get behind the wheels, you're going to kill someone. I was so scared of even sitting behind the wheel because I had his voice in my head telling me that I'm going to kill someone. No confidence at all. Now, it came to the place where there's something little that happened. The water supply was cut off because there was some construction work going on, and because nobody was at home, so no one was there to point it out or get the water supply back on. So this was my younger one was sick. She had a stomach bug, so she was sick, and I asked my ex to, get like a pail of water from the neighbors, and he didn't want to do that. Instead, he said, let's go and stay at your mom's place. And I was like, if we go to stay at my mom's place, then this problem will never get fixed. But he didn't want to do it. And when I said, please, she's like, I was also kind of losing it by then because I was like, oh, we need some water. So please, you need to go and get it. So he just literally, he started, it started with, he started raising his voice and saying, I know this is, and that's what everybody says, that because you are earning, so you give me instructions and you rule the household. And I was like, I'm not doing any of that. Please, could you just get water? And I'm tired. I don't have the time or even the patience to do that. So that went into, oh, yes, you try to rule me and you think you are the boss and I'll put you in your place. And he started beating me up. So this is where the physical abuse started for me. And because I was so numb, I couldn't believe this was happening to me. Because I was always a feminist. I always thought women were strong. And, seeing anyone treating any women badly, I was always like, no, this is not how it should be done. Like, why don't you speak up? I used to be one of those. So when this happened to me, I was so numb. It didn't register. It didn't sink in that this was happening to me. So I remember just sitting there while he was, kicking me and hitting me. And my children now, my older one was almost 4 at that time, and the younger one was 2.5. This is very funny because this was around the end of February, beginning of March. So many years ago, because my older one is turning 29 on Saturday. So, yeah. So it was around this time. And so what he did, my older one was trying to protect me. So I still remember sitting in the corner of the bed, so numb. I didn't feel any pain or anything when I was getting beaten up. And she was trying to shield my body with her little body, trying to, protect me. And then he picked up the younger one, who was only 2.5. And he said, now I'll see how you won't come begging after me. So he forcefully took the younger one. And the older one is trying to convince the younger one, don't go. But the younger one has no idea because, to the children, it is like, you love your mom, you love your dad. Like, there's so much confusion going on. They don't know what's happening. So when my older one was telling her, don't go. And she's like, no, we're going to get some chocolate, because she thought, dad is taking her. So they're going to go pick up some candies and chocolates and stuff. So he took the younger one, and before he went, he called my mom. And this is the time when we had those phones, where you put the receiver like this. Um, so he called my mom, and he said, "If you want to see her alive, you come and get her now." And then he threw the phone on the wall, so the phone broke, and my mom panicked because she thought, oh, there's something happening and he's about to kill her. Like, in that panic mode, she started, but she was still 45 minutes drive away from where I lived. In the meantime, I just sat there numb, and he picked up the younger one and he said, "Now I'll see how you won't come begging after me." He left. I was still numb, sitting there. And once they left, my older one, she just came, she hugged me tight. And something she said snapped me out of that numbness that I was feeling. She said, "Don't worry, Mama, I'll protect you."
Smart girl. Very smart.
And then we were just sitting there. I was still not crying because I was like, couldn't believe this happened. It felt like a nightmare that would end soon. And then my mom came, and my mom was like, "What happened?" I was like, he left and he took Ishita. And my mom was like, "Oh my God, I'm not leaving you here. You're coming with me." And I didn't want to go. I said, "I'm paying the rent. I might as well stay." You're kind of like running your own household and all. My mom said, "What if he comes back and creates a scene? You're coming home with me. We'll deal with this later on." And I remember when we reached home, my dad, who had come back from work, I come from a service class family, middle class, where both my parents worked. And my dad had reached home, and he just opened the gate of the house, and he just opened his arms, didn't ask me anything. And I want to remind everyone here, this was a marriage of my choice. So I married out of the religion, and my parents supported me throughout because they're like, it's the happiness that counts. If he's happy and if she feels that he's the guy for her, we're okay with this. And I'm talking a long time ago. At that time, inter-religion marriages were not that common in India, right? So there I was, and then I tried calling him for a few days, but he wouldn't let both the sisters talk. He wouldn't let the younger one talk to the older one. He wouldn't let her come on the phone. So then I had to go to the court to get her back because I did not want both the sisters separated. So coming from that place, and then uh, all my
Did you
money
ever
or
get
everything
her
that
back? Did you ever get your young
I
child
did,
back?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So when I went to the court, he and his family didn't expect that I would go to the court. And they said their family friend was acting as their lawyer on their behalf. So he reached out to me and he said, "I know you, but don't you think you are," because now my lawyer had prepared like a proper, it was a case, right? So they read through it and they said, "Don't you think this is a little exaggerated?" And then I asked him, I said, "You have known me ever since I got married and came in this family. For a moment, if it was you or your sister who was going through what I went through, would you still say the same thing?" And then he went quiet. He said, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Like, it's so difficult with this family." I said, "I'm not asking for much. I don't want to. Obviously, there was some love. That's how we have these two children also. And that's why we got married. What I'm asking for only this, that I don't want both the sisters separated." So he said, "Okay, I will talk to them. If they return the younger one, will you drop the case?" I said, "Absolutely. I don't believe in, washing my dirty laundry in public, because if it becomes a court case, right, then you are bringing everything out." I said, "I will withdraw the case but I want both the sisters to be united. I don't want them separated. So I said, okay, I will talk to them and it'll be taken care of. So that's what they did. They returned. So my younger one, I and my daughter also, we got to see her after 10 days.
Okay. Good.
But she was returned the day before the court hearing.
Good. Good.
So she came back, and Kim, I tried to make that marriage work even after that. I tried to make it work for almost a year because, like, okay, let's start again, because I wanted both the girls to have a full family. I didn't want them to come from a broken household. All this is what I was thinking. And we tried. So he would come once a week, sorry, take us out for lunch, and then to like a park or something where both the girls will play, and then he used to drop us back at my parents' place. It continued, and then it came to that place again where now it didn't help that his family was well established. They knew people in commanding positions, and when I'm saying that, I'm talking about the CEOs and directors of, wherever I worked. Somehow his father knew somebody or the other, and it became so difficult. I would get at 5 in the evening, my boss would call me and tell me, okay, I need this report first thing on my desk tomorrow. And I'm talking about, to even collate all that information for that report, I needed time, because these were global companies I was working for. So how do I
But
communicate?
you were being discriminated against.
Yeah, and also giving work that was not humanly possible because everybody is in different time zone. How do I get all the information? And I tried. There were times, many times actually, that I got late in picking up my girls from their daycare. The daycare used to close at 6 p.m. And I ended up picking them at 8. So the daycare gave me an ultimatum that please find some other place, because here we have to hold back some of our staff because your children are the last ones to be picked up.
I feel
So,
so bad. I know you have a long story, but we're crunched with time. Can you tell me
yeah,
about you speaking at events in Harvard and being on the
absolutely.
Post?
Yes, yes. So coming from that place, and for a long time actually, was because we are brought up in the society where what we go through, it's looked upon as shame. So I went through that phase where I felt like I was hiding my story. I didn't want to share it because I felt my story made me less than who I am. I was judging myself. And then I came to that place where I felt, there are so many women out there like me who are going through something like this. And because life has shown me how to, um, you know, go with the flow, and where I am, like all my struggles and all, they should not go waste. And if nothing else, my story will inspire others, because I truly believe if I can do it, anyone can. Right? So from that place, I came to that. And initially, I know my heart was like jumping out of my chest. But I said, no, this story needs to be told simply because it could help someone else. That's how. So I talk about leadership, I talk about empowerment, self-empowerment, and a lot of that comes from a place of self-awareness and self-discovery. And that is how I turned my pain into relief for others. So I have written chapters I have co-authored books, bestseller books, and that's also what led towards speaking engagements and sharing my story. Because it looks like, if you think about it, it looks like a huge mountain that is unsurmountable. But sharing my story, and these platforms help us. So that's how I ended up sharing my story. That's how I ended up co-authoring books and um, getting into coaching. So I do a lot of energy healing work as well, like Akashic Records. I'm a Reiki master teacher. And these, I have been doing it for over 2 decades now. So when I went through all of that, that pushed me into that place where I wanted to get to know myself more. So more into that healing, self-discovery, self-awareness, because I truly believe in that all of these things that we are seeing in our life is a reflection of the chaos that is inside of us, what's going on inside. Like I had to learn to stand in my power. And that is what everybody outside was pushing me to do. So either I have a choice of becoming a victim, or I have the choice of standing in my power and changing what I do not like.
And tell me, where do you see yourself going with all of these challenges and all of you succumbing them? Where do you see yourself going in the future?
I am in a beautiful place right now, Kim. I am a certified coach. And with all the energy healing, I do astrology, numerology, and all the healing stuff I do. So, what I do is I combine all of this, and based on what one needs, I help guide them, coach and mentor whatever one wants, because mentoring is nothing else but bringing your own life experiences to help others. So, this is what I do.
Give me a mini reading. It doesn't have to be large, just a mini reading on my horoscope. It's a Cancer. I'm a Cancer. So what can you tell me about being a Cancer?
Okay, sweetheart. So, okay, your emotions are your treasure. Okay.
Yes.
And you tell me, whenever the full moons and the new moons and all are happening, how do you feel your energy? Because it's water sign and moon. The magnetic pull of moon really works strongly on the water signs. And you being the nurturer, the homemaker, you bring that beautiful love energy to all your relationships and everything you do. You are like um, you are the rock that holds other people.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That is so on point. How can the people reach you?
Okay.
Thank you.
So um, I will be happy to share my website is Kindred Souls. That's KINDREDSOULZS.com. That's where they can reach me. I'm also on all the major social medias. Haven't done TikTok yet. I haven't danced in front of public yet. But yeah, with my name Bhavya Gaur, they can find me. Like on LinkedIn, it is Bhavya Gaur Soulful Empowerment, and Bhavya Gaur Official on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook, official Bhavya Gaur, so they can find me on there. And I really, really, truly feel it's an honor and a privilege, and all of this comes with responsibility, of course, to be able to guide others and help them blossom into the magnificence of their soul. So all of this that they hold inside, it's unfortunately, it's, our experiences, our upbringing, that kind of puts these layers on top of who we really are. And then we spend our whole life trying to figure out who we are, and, through trials and errors.
Mm.
But if I can guide anyone through that, it would be my utmost honor.
One
Yeah.
last question. I have to have you back on the show, but one last question. Do you use crystals at all?
Absolutely. So
I can tell the positive energy. Yes.
Oh my good Lord, I have a lot of my crystals
Oh,
sitting right
yay.
behind me.
What kind of crystal is that?
This is an apophyllite.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me
And
the
I don't know if you can see clearly, but it has like these beautiful points.
okay, beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, this is a powerhouse. I have lots of crystals. And so when I was on the search of finding myself, I went through, so Reiki kind of was my door, my step into the doorway. Reiki, I'm a Reiki master teacher. Then I got into, I'm also a master of Christology. So I studied crystals. Um, I did shamanism. I did reconnective healing. And it was all Akashic records. It's all about taking those layers off. And as I was able to take those, and I have done way more than that, like, off the top of my head, if I'm just saying. So I spent, I would say, 15 years of my life just to find myself.
What does that particular crystal do? Does it shield negativity?
It does. And I also use it because I do Akashic records. So, which is nothing else but actually tapping into the soul wisdom, uh, of your soul from the time of inception. And as different lifetimes, through lifetimes, we have evolved, learned, leaning into that wisdom, because some of the lessons we have already learned, but we forget. And just to remember, who we are. So this is my powerhouse that helps me with the Akashic records, the Apophyllite. And I have a whole lot of crystals sitting like right behind me. This is a clear quartz, and I was not prepared. I didn't know you were going to ask any of the questions. So yeah, so all these are just, just sitting here. My space is beautifully set with the crystals. And I find crystals are more like little children, like always whispering, talking to you.
No, right? Yes. I have to talk to you after the show. I have to have you back on the show, but hold the line. Y'all take care. Do you have under 1 minute any words of wisdom? You done said so much.
I will only share this: wherever you go, bring your sparkle with you. You have this radiant light that is inside of you. Do not let this world dim that light. You're more powerful than you think. You just haven't tapped into that powerhouse yet. So that's all I have to say.
Stay on the line. Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Gaur.
Thank you so much. Thank you.